8 more people who tested positive for COVID-19 in Saskatchewan have died. There are 312 new cases, with 40 of those in our zone. 15 of those new cases are in the immediate Lloydminster area, where we have 132 active cases. 3,196 cases are active province-wide. 177 people are in hospital, with 12 in the northwest. 2 of those are in intensive care in our zone. More than 31,000 people have been vaccinated in the province. 1,256 people have been vaccinated in the northwest. Vaccines have started to make their way into Lloydminster as part of the Saskatchewan government's rollout. Residents at Pioneer Lodge were some of the first people in the border city to receive vaccinations this week, and Mayor Gerald Albers sees the light at the end of the tunnel.
This is a process, folks. This is a marathon more than a short run. And I think we need to just be patient, work with the healthcare providers. The Saskatchewan Health Authority is responsible for the bulk of the city.
While most of the population continues to wait for vaccines, the mayor is stressing the importance of following safety protocols.
Continue to follow the regulations and recommendations laid out before us, and we'll get to the end line together. But until that time, please just bear with us. It'll be transferred through the information, I'm sure, from SHA.
898 doses of the vaccine have been administered in the Northwest Zone, which includes Lloydminster. A young R&B vocalist and a member of the Onion Lake Cree Nation known as Hazley has been making her way through the music world. 19-year-old Hazel Waskowicz began her career back in 2017 when she was invited to work with a traveling music studio program. Hazley explains since her whole family sings, that motivated her to show her talent, and she's received lots of support so far.
Well, from when I started my whole music career, singing career, there's times where I wanted to give up on it, but I couldn't. Because, I just want to make my family proud. So whatever it is that people are doing, just don't give up and just keep pushing yourself.
Hazley's favorite song, Feel Free, that she released last year, is about her experience growing up. She's also released a debut album called All Good Things last summer.
When I left home, too damn young to be so alone, while learning to love. As the years went by, lessons were learned, mistakes were made while roaming this world.
Hazley is working on 2 new songs, and you can listen to her music through Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes. A local mother is sharing the story of her daughter's illness and their need for a service dog. Jace Mackey has the story.
I'm joined today with Taryn Bone. Taryn, thanks again for talking with me today.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
So just starting off, I'm going to get you just to tell me a little bit about your daughter's medical condition. I know she's 4 and has had quite a lot of diagnoses for just being a 4-year-old. So can you kind of go through her medical conditions for us today?
Yeah, she, at 5 months old, we found she wasn't tracking anything. So she got referred to an ophthalmologist where they diagnosed her with, optic nerve hypoplasia. So that was just her optic nerves weren't developed, meaning she was blind. So at 5 months old, they told us she was completely blind. And then after that, she got referred for an MRI, and it came back saying that she was missing the septum pellucidum, so it's part of her brain, as well as her pituitary gland, so all her, what controls all her hormones. So that actually upgraded her original diagnosis to septo-optic dysplasia, and that's what she has currently, and that's kind of what she's stuck with for the last 3.5 years. But on top of that, she's been diagnosed with a lot of other things, but the main 2 is septic optic dysplasia and autism now.
And now you guys are trying to raise money for a service dog. How much are you guys trying to raise? And then can you take me through the process of how to even acquire a service dog?
So we started looking at a service dog because all her team members at the stollery said that she would greatly benefit from one. So we looked all over Canada, and sadly, with COVID right now, the application processes for each one actually has been closed down because the wait list has been so long. And we found one at in Edmonton for Aspen service dogs. And so we met up with them. We took Cashlyn. She met some of the dogs that are in training there, and we kind of went over the process. So basically, what it is we have to pay $5,000 just to sign the contract and pick the puppy so it can start training. And then after that, it goes through training for 2 years. And that's just basic training and then training specifically to her needs. So after we pay the $5,000, we have a year to pay $10,000. And then we have another year after that to pay the remaining $10,000. So all in all, it's $25,000. And then we have to go a week to Edmonton for training. And then we have to bring the trainer here for a week so she can be in our home and help us in our home.
And for people who are interested in helping you guys out and supporting you guys in your effort to try and get this service dog, is there a place for people that are able to donate?
Yeah, we have an e-transfer set up directly to our account. We have a GoFundMe. I know like right now, the times are really tough with COVID and people are barely making it by, but we are also right now doing a bottle drive, and there's a lot of people that reached out to us for bottles, which is like any little bit helps, right? So, and we've had quite a few small businesses reach out to us too for silent auction items, but that'll be in the future. Just we're waiting for things to settle down a little bit with COVID, and maybe some of the restrictions will be lifted by then.
For sure. And for people who are looking to kind of follow along with the journey, is there a place where people can kind of check on what's going on?
Yeah, we I started up a Facebook page. That's kind of where we update all the GoFundMe stuff and post videos. But on Facebook, it's Endless Possibilities for Cashlyn. And it's kind of spelled different. It's like pause and PAW, kind of just for the service dog thing. But I posted it on what's happening in Lloydminster and everything. So I know a lot of people have been following along with it and sending me direct messages, but they can also find the link on the GoFundMe as well.
And how is Cashlyn doing? I know obviously, just being a young girl, probably full of excitement in life, but how's she doing with all these problems that she's had throughout her life?
It's kind of her normal. Like we've been going to these appointments since she was 5 months old. Usually it was about 2 or 3 appointments a week. And that was just here in Lloyd. And then it started going to the Stollery in Edmonton. So we were going to the Stollery once or twice a month for a long time until COVID kind of hit. But she kind of just powers through it. Some days are really, really rough, like very, very rough on both of us. And then other days it seems like just another day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
now, what's the team of doctors like here in Lloydminster and also at the Stollery? Have they been very supportive throughout this whole process?
Yeah, she has a pediatrician here who has been amazing to deal with. And she also has all her therapies here. So since she was a baby, she was going to occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, like a feeding clinic. And then she got upgraded to the autism spectrum team here in Lloyd. So they've been really good. And it's just it's a psychiatrist, an occupational therapist, and a speech therapist who work with her. And then with the Stollery, she has her ophthalmologist, which is her eye doctor, her endocrinologist, which is her hormone doctor, her neurologist, which is her brain doctor, a dietitian, and a pediatrician there as well. Basically, like at the Stollery, they basically became family. Like we were there so often that I could call them up and talk to them about anything, and they were there. Like it wasn't, I felt like we weren't just another family, like another number there. So
that's good to hear. And is there anything else that you want to add that maybe I didn't bring up, but you want to get out there and share that message?
I just don't think people really realize like how important service dogs are, because there isn't funding in Canada for them at all. So people who actually need service dogs, they have to do these fundraisers, and it is a lot of money for a really, really important aspect for a kid. Like hopefully this service dog is going to help her like blossom in life and help her navigate her environment, help her with her sleep issues, just open her up as a child should be, because she's so shut down. But a lot of people have been asking me about the process, and it's new to me too. But it's only really what I've researched myself, and then other people have been kind of coming forward and messaging me, telling me about their experiences and their fundraisers. And like, the community here has been really, really, really supportive. I don't think we could have done any of this without like the residents of Lloyd and the surrounding areas, and same with my friends and family. They're basically the whole reason why we're still doing this.
Well, thanks again for taking some time to talk with me today and to share your story and your daughter's story. And I wish you guys the best of luck as you go forward to raise this money. And I'm glad we were able to share your story today.
Thank you so much.
We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Welcome back. For a taste of what's new with the big brothers and big sisters of Lloydminster, we now go to Tate Laycraft.
Today, I'm here with the Director of Service Delivery for the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Lloydminster, Jacqueline Weed. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
So we're just a few weeks into 2021. What's the new year looking like for you guys so far?
Well, the new year is the same as the old year. We still have COVID in place. We still have restrictions. So for our programming, we're doing it virtually. So we can't do group programming in person like we normally would in a non-COVID year. So our traditional match program, which is the Big Brother Big Sister program, is virtual or a hybrid where they can meet outside, right? Because due to restrictions, they can't meet in the volunteer's house. Our in-school mentoring program is virtually. And then, we're just carrying on. We're doing all of our meetings virtually, processing new volunteers, doing intakes with families. So we're carrying on business as we normally would, just in a new way.
I also saw that you guys are running a bottle drive of sorts right now. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, so normally in a normal year, we would raise about $160,000 of our budget ourselves doing things in the community at big events with big crowds usually. Obviously, we can't do that right now, so we have a variety of smaller things that we're doing. So one of those things, as you just mentioned, is we take recycling. So people can either give the agency a call to get their recycling picked up, or they can drop it off at the office, and then we count and sort, take that to the bottle depot, and then we receive the proceeds from that.
Another one of your programs involves a partnership with Panago Pizza, where you're selling coupons to help raise funds, right?
So we have a partnership with Panago Pizza, where if you purchase a pizza coupon for $12, you take it into Panago and you get a free medium pizza. And so then the proceeds from those coupons support the virtual mentoring programs that we're doing right now.
So another thing I wanted to touch base on is that January is mentoring month. So for people who are potentially interested in getting involved, maybe this is the perfect time?
National Mentoring Month is a national across Big Brothers Big Sisters, where we really focus on recruitment and finding those special people to form those life-changing relationships with the kids. We have 29 children on the waiting list in our local agency for a mentor, and it's really easy. They can check us out on Facebook, they can check us out on our website, or they can give us a call, and we'll get them started. Everything's done virtually right now, so we send the application and then we meet virtually and do the rest of the screening process.
And to close, do you guys have anything else going on or coming up that you'd like to communicate to the masses?
So also as part of our fundraising endeavors right now, we have co-op gift cards that are available to purchase. We have them in $25, $50, and $100 increments. So again, they can just call us or check out our Facebook page. Right now we have Bear Tracks Ice Melt back in stock, but we have a limited amount left because we had a waiting list for it. So people can give us a call about that. And February 9th will be National Pizza Day. And we have kind of a unique fundraiser coming up that day where we'll have partner restaurants. They'll be selling pizza and donating $1 from every pizza sold to our organization just on that day. So people can stay tuned and we'll release where those restaurants are probably early next week.
Thanks for talking to me, Jacqueline.
Thank you for having us.
Here's our Heather Klages with this week's edition of What's Happening.
It's shaping up to be a little bit cooler this weekend, but Synergy Credit Union, they want to help you out. They want you to take the family to see a free movie here at May Cinema 6. Free matinees this weekend of Minions. Yes, the Minions that you first saw in the Despicable Me movie, they got their own movie, and you've got a chance to see it for free thanks to Synergy Credit Union this weekend. There's showtimes both Saturday and Sunday, and tickets will be available at May Cinema 6 just before showtime. Check out a movie this weekend with the family. The Legion in Lloydminster is going to serve up another delicious supper this Saturday. It is a roast beef supper. It's going to run from 4 until 7. It'll be pickup only. A plate costs just $15. Reserve yours now by calling the Legion at 306-825-2521. And the Legion is going to treat veterans and members of the RCMP to dinner on them. You do need to give them a call, though, to reserve your plate for this delicious roast beef supper. The Legion did a delicious fall supper last year. They did a ham and scallop potato supper last year as well. Both were fantastic. So this supper is going to be another great one as well. For all the details and to reserve your plate, call the Legion, 306-825-2521. You've got the chance to get creative and learn a new skill as well, as the City of Lloydminster is hosting a stained glass project workshop, a chance for you to make a lotus flower. No experience is necessary, but you do need to pre-register now so that you can be in for this workshop coming up on Sunday, January 31st at the Service Sports Center. Public health measures will be in place for this workshop. No experience necessary. Register now at lloydminster.ca. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Joining us for this week's entertainment panel is Abby St. John. How are you today, Abby?
I'm good, Shelby. How are you?
I'm very good. So I wanted to start off with this week. A big event has happened on Wednesday, the inauguration, where Joe Biden was sworn in as the 46th President of the United States and Kamala Harris as the Vice President. Now I want to talk about Lady Gaga's beautiful performance and J-Lo's as well, where she even recited 2 lines of the Pledge of Allegiance in Spanish. And some people online are even saying that this was almost the presidential Met Gala with how the outfits were looking. What would you say, Abby?
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with you on that. And I think, first off, the one woman who truly stole the show when it came to fashion, when it came to, just walking in, is Michelle Obama. Even news stations were disregarding the fact that she was with her husband, who served for 2 terms, 8 years as President of the United States, Barack Obama. They disregarded him almost and just talked about her. She just strutted in like she was the most powerful woman in the world, and she looked absolutely stunning. She was wearing a full purple suit with a long purple coat, and she just looked amazing. And she just walked in with so much elegance and so much power that it really did show how much she holds in today's society, and it's amazing. And then Lady Gaga, she came out to sing the national anthem, and she was wearing this beautiful big ball gown. But what's most notable about her outfit was the gold brooch that she wore over her heart. And it was in the shape of a dove holding an olive branch. And earlier that day, she had tweeted out saying, "May we all make peace with each other." which I think is really important as the United States are very divided right now, especially throughout the election. We saw how divided the country truly is. And then J-Lo came out to sing This Land Is Your Land, and you mentioned that she said those few lines of the Pledge of Allegiance in Spanish, which I thought was really incredible. And she looked gorgeous in the fully white Chanel outfit that she was rocking. But another note that I want to make during the inauguration was the National Youth Poet Laureate Amanda Gorman came out, and she gave an incredibly moving poem called "The Hill We Climb" about the division in the United States, and it was absolutely beautiful. So all in all, the event was incredibly well done.
Yes, overall, the inauguration was honestly a beautiful ceremony, and I want to say that Bernie Sanders did a great appearance as well. He had a great outfit, very stylish, as you can see all over social media.
Yes, yeah, every event a meme comes out of it, and he just happened to be the meme this time around, and it's hilarious. Every platform is talking about him, and it's very funny.
And now moving into the film world, I was actually looking at some of the new trailers for this year for 2021 since the pandemic pushed back so many release dates. And one interesting one I saw was actually the Spiral movie from the book of Saw. And I really loved the Saw series. So what I found interesting about this movie coming out that it showed Samuel L. Jackson and Chris Rock. And what I find fascinating with Chris Rock being in this movie, that he's moving from comedies over to a serious movie.
Yes, yeah, no, this is going to be an interesting movie because, like you said, we've never really seen Chris Rock in anything but a comedy. And if there is drama to it, it's mostly a comedy. It's mostly a goofy movie. So it's going to be interesting to see him not only in a serious role, but in a horror movie like Saw. Those who know Saw or who've seen just one Saw movie, you know how truly gory and horrific these movies can be. They're amazing movies, but they're very, very gory, and they have a serious undertone. So it's going to be interesting to see him play a very serious role as a police officer, or as a detective rather, but also that he's the executive producer on it. So he has a lot in this movie. So it's going to be interesting to see how he is in a dramatic role, just like this one. Samuel L. Jackson, we all know him from action movies. So this is pretty much down his alley, but just more horror added to it. So I think it's going to be a good movie, and we're really going to see just how far Chris Rock's acting experience really stretches, because like we've mentioned, we've only seen him really in comedic roles.
Yes, exactly. I'm very excited to see how this Saw movie is going to be. And I think Chris Rock is going to do amazing in it. And of course, Samuel L. Jackson, all the other actors in it. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us again today, Abby.
Thank you.
The sports world is feeling a terrible loss today as one of the Major League Baseball greats has passed away. Evan Kenny and Eric Bay have more on that, as well as some Toronto Blue Jays news.
Well, talking about the MLB today, starting things off with some sad news, as at one time the home run king Hank Aaron has passed away this morning at the age of 86. Joining me today is Eric Bay to break all this down. Eric, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, again, obviously a very tough day. You look at what Hank Aaron really did in his career, and I mean, you can read all the stats. They're all right there. I mean, he made 21 straight All-Star games, as you said, was the home run king for over 30 years, but just really a tough loss for baseball overall.
Currently sits second in all time behind Barry Bonds, but a lot of people consider him the best hitter of all time, as he also sits first in all-time RBIs. Eric, I guess just first of all, how big of a loss is this for the baseball community?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously huge. Again, as I mentioned, he was not just, this larger-than-life all-star figure. He was also a big proponent of the game off the field. He was always around all these events, and really kind of him and Jackie Robinson really teamed up together to try and work through baseball and some of the challenges that obviously baseball and the world at large faced in terms of acceptance and inclusion. But again, as you mentioned, just what he did put into this game too, it's definitely going to be missed. I think the big thing is too, we've lost so many MLB Hall of Famers here in 2020 and also more recently with Don Sutton. So just together, it's really tough to kind of stomach,
Yes, this will be a tough one for the baseball world and the world as a whole to swallow. It is unfortunate for us being a younger generation. We weren't able to see him actually in action, but from seeing highlights and hearing the different stories and whatnot, I think we can picture just how good Hank Aaron really was. Now, Eric, transitioning now into some players who are currently in the MLB. Some big news coming out of Canada. The Toronto Blue Jays have signed one of the biggest free agents from this offseason in George Springer. 6 years, $150 million, making it the biggest contract the Toronto Blue Jays have ever signed. I guess, Eric, just how big is this for the Blue Jays organization for the next 6 years?
Oh, it's obviously huge. I mean, you look at a guy of this caliber, and you mentioned $150 million. This guy, in probably a normal year, could have made close to 200, I think. I mean, he's a leadoff guy who's going to hit you home runs, get on base, do everything you want to do. And everybody is going to point to, obviously, the Astros sign-stealing scandal. But even without that, he put up 14 home runs in a shortened season last year, good for roughly a 42 home run season if we were prorating it up to 162 games. So you look at what he's done, ability to get on base, and you pair him with a guy like Cavan Biggio on that Jays roster who also doesn't strike out, walks a lot, gets on base. And if Teoscar Hernandez can do what he did last year and Vladdy Guerrero Jr. can find some more consistency with the bat, you're going to have a lot of guys on base for those big sluggers coming up. So this is a very exciting young offensive team.
Yeah, super young team. And I think that's a huge point when it comes to the Blue Jays. You look 6 years with George Springer, plus all these young guys who are just going to consistently get better and better each year. I know this is quite a far ways in the future, but say 3-4 years from now, Eric, the Blue Jays are looking like a contending team, no?
Yeah, I mean, if you can find some pitching and some steady pitching to go with this, then for sure, because 3-4 years from now, I still think George Springer should be doing what he's doing right now. Maybe by the tail end of this, he kind of falls off. But like you say, a lot of those guys will be in their prime here 3 to 4 years from now. So you find some pitching to go with this. This is going to be a juggernaut here for years to come.
Now, Springer already has a World Series championship ring under his belt. But, of course, as everybody knows, the Astros were caught cheating. Do you think that sort of puts a damper on it? And as he comes into this new clubhouse, how do you think other players will be looking at him?
Yeah, that's a tough one to kind of figure out. Again, obviously he's a great player with or without the cheating. The cheating was a little unnecessary. And I think for the most part, guys may have forgiven unless you are a Los Angeles Dodger. So I think he'll be welcomed with open arms, again, just from what he'll do on the baseball side of things. But that is a good point, and one that will be kind of tough to figure out until we actually see it in action on the field.
Dodgers and Yankees fans might not be the happiest with the Astros in general. Eric, thank you very much for taking this time and joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
Now let's have a quick look at your 7-day forecast. This very cold weekend, we're looking at -22 on Saturday and -21 on Sunday, so don't expect to see too much sun and probably a little bit of snowfall. Monday, we're starting off next week with chillier temperatures with -21 on Monday, -20 on Tuesday, -16 on Wednesday, and -16 also on Thursday. So later on to the week, it doesn't seem like we might be warming up a little bit too much. Friday, we're looking at -12 with a little bit of sun peeking behind those clouds. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.